Okay, welcome back to the channel, guys. In this video I'm going to be covering recommendation 3 and 4 for starter campaigns for beginners. Now CA here, they do recommend Cathay. However, they recommend the sister. I actually recommend the brother. Main reasons are late game you're going to have more money because of the caravans. Early game you're going to have more money, frankly, too. The increase on the armor for melee units, huge deal. Another huge one is the Lord himself gets a plus 100% increase to magic drop chance. His reduction for his melee units is 25% reduction. But also he gets this lovely set of rocket artillery. Early game, it's a really big deal. You're fighting Skaven, you're fighting undead, you're fighting hordes of beastmen, you're fighting chaos. Most of the time this is going to help you immensely. Starting location I think is better, but we're going to go into them real quick and show you. Okay guys, so in the beginning, not that big of a deal. You're fighting some rebels here, and you do not start out with a capital, but there's one nearby. Not gonna be that hard to take it. His sister up north does start out with a capital. I believe it's right here. You got the chaos wastes up here. Lots of demons, lots of Norskins. Pain in the butt. Now, again, his is going to be easier to deal with. He has a better relations with ogres too, in general. Let's look at his technology real quick. Their technology is actually one of the reasons they're not my top recommendation for beginners, is because you gotta balance your yin and your yang when you're doing your research and other things, because your buffs are affected by that. If you can have harmony, as the game says, you get increased relations with everyone, reduce construction costs, increase growth, increase income from your yin and your yang ones, increase control, reduce corruption, and you get this lovely ability, Ancestral Warriors, all armies. It's beautiful. Now Cathay does have quite a bit of technology, which I really appreciate. And if I'm not mistaken, for the most part, you're only hampered by, which side. Like, you start off here, you can go this route, then this route. Now, a lot of people then go back and forth, and you'll keep it in harmony. But it's also your buildings. A lot of your buildings will affect your yin or your yang. So, something to keep in mind. Now, with that being said, we're going to go check out my number 4 recommendation.
In the name of Magnus.
Okay guys, 4th recommendation here is going to be the Lizardmen. Mazdamundi is good. He's more of a, not so much a veteran player, but you definitely need to be a little bit more familiar with their mechanics and magic especially. One reason I don't recommend him personally is because of his starting location, the fact that he has reduced relations with most factions, and his buffs are made more for, some of them are made more for late game, like Temple Guards right here, reduce 50% upkeep. That's great, but you're not going to be getting more Temple Guards early game. You're going to start out with one unit, and again, at a reduced upkeep, that's great, but you're not going to get any more for a while. He starts off with Dark Elves, you've got Beastmen, you've got Tomb Kings up above you, you've got Vampire Coast, you've got the High Elves, which it's very finicky on if they're going to like you or not. You've got some humans who may or may not like you, and you got a bunch of orcs. You also now got some ogres running around. Most people don't like you. You're going to be fighting a lot. But Kroq-Gar, this boy right here is the one I would recommend for a beginner if you want to start out with Lizardmen. Why? Because, well, his stuff is helpful right from the get-go. Reduce upkeep 15% for his army. Increase ambush chance. This one is huge, alright? Because there are definitely going to be times you're outnumbered. Big time, but whether it's Skaven, Orcs, or you're fighting a superior force when it comes to their tier rank, and you want to get them in ambush, this is going to be big time help. But we're going to go look at his starting location, because it's another reason I recommend him. Alright, so, Kroq-Gar here. You're going to be starting off at war with some Skaven. Not that big a deal. Skaven, especially because they will break from fear and terror, especially when you have dinosaurs. Now, starting territory is not amazing, but I mean, capital's right here. It looks like it's in ruin, but it's really probably these boys right here, which again, not that big a deal. Okay. So you start off in the ruined territory. So here, let's just go look at them real quick. Close victory, it says. Please note, my settings generally are on hard. It's just kind of how I like to play that a little bit. But yeah, just send him over there, and yeah, see, look, it's Skaven. It says it's difficult. Really? Just an easier way to fix that. Just go into encampment there. Or, if you really wanted to, you could have fought that army, got the experience, gone back over to your side, healed, and recruited what few units you could, and then come back. But please note, he is going to have more men. But, again, Skaven early game, not that big a deal, especially regular Skaven. You've got dwarves nearby who you can make nice with because they hate Skaven, you hate Skaven. There are orcs you can fight, there are demons, Tomb King. That works out. Wood elves, they may not be friendly, but there are more Lizardmen nearby who will want to work with you, possibly confederate, as long as you, hopefully by this point you're a little more familiar with the relations, because sometimes it can be difficult to confederate. But now another reason that the Lizardmen are only number 4 in my recommendation, because you gotta have certain buildings to do research, alright? And sometimes that can be a pain. It's like, okay, when you start off with these 2 here, that's nice. Lizardmen have decent amount of research, but again, to unlock the different paths, you have to have certain buildings made, and then you run into another block here and another one at the end. So they're good, they're great, they're a very tanky unit, they're very difficult to break, especially if you've got some of the better units. And the dinosaurs are wonderful for most armies, you know, because they, right here, causes terror, causes fear. The enemy's gonna run. You get enough of those guys in there to affect multiple units at the same time, it's gonna be a lot easier on the fight. So later, of course, as I said with the other video, I will be doing like a playthrough, giving tips and tricks about them more in depth. But for now, that's the video, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like, subscribe. Feel free to leave a comment on what you want to see in the future for the campaign, the playthrough, or if there's something you're struggling with, I'll try and cover that when I'm doing a playthrough of them. The next videos are going to be covering my least recommended campaign or factions for beginners. See you soon.